If you want to be more like Kurt Cobain, you have to stop giving a So, you want to be more like Kurt Cobain. You want to either sing like him or write like him or whatever. But if you want to be more like Kurt Cobain, you have to start being yourself. That's where it starts. Everybody looks up to that guy as a hero. Most heroic thing about him was one of the things that he said, what he was famous for. He said, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. If you can live like that and stop giving a what anybody else thinks about you or your music or anything, that is the key to start being like Kurt. Musically, I think if you look at what Kurt listened to, he listened to a lot of Beatles, he listened to a lot of punk stuff, just liked melodic music and also trashy music. I think he had a wide, or as it was an eclectic taste of music. I think he liked a lot of different music. It would be wise, if you want to write more like him, is to listen to a lot of the Beatles, pick up a guitar, and whatever you write, make sure that it sounds good on an acoustic guitar, because guitarctica. That's where I'm from. Sorry, I'm a guitard. But if you write any music and it can sound good on an acoustic guitar, then you're on the right track. Because if you pick up any of the Nirvana songs and play them on an acoustic guitar, they all translate well to an acoustic guitar because they're great songs. They're very melodic. They have like good guitar parts, quirky stuff, like just... The thing is like, you can't get too caught up in what anybody else thinks about anything that you do. I think that was the main thing about Kurt. He just did what he wanted to do. As far as his voice, he sang the way he wanted to sing. I mean, he didn't take lessons. He went to someone because he had some vocal damage. Dave Grohl tells this story. You can look it up. I can't remember who he was talking to, but he said Kurt went away to some vocal coach because he had some vocal damage or something, and he was doing like he came back with this cassette of all these warm-ups, and like they were all laughing at these me, and they laughed at them, and then Dave was like, are you going to do those? And Kurt just took the cassette out of the player. He just threw it in the bin. He's like, hell no, man. Hell no. And that was, I suppose, always my approach to singing. Like, I rarely, if ever, warmed up to scales. Like, I always just put music on and sang to the music. You're never going to, like, go and sing scales out in front of a live crowd. Like, and if that's your goal, then I would just wonder something about you. I would wonder, like, if you're practicing scales all the time, who are you going to sing those to? Scales can be good if they are training muscles specifically. You know, some of the scale exercises that I do train parts of my body, like for support and things like that. But like, you know, a large percentage of scales that voice coaches or singing teachers or whatever you want to call them will share with you is just these kind of like show-offy scale things that like aren't really going to do your vocals any good. So I'm digressing a lot, but the point is, experiment with your voice. What can you do to make you sound more like you? And I think that is how you be more like Kurt Cobain, is by being as far from Kurt Cobain as possible. Because otherwise, like, you're just going to end up sounding like Kurt Cobain. And there was one Kurt Cobain, and sadly he's passed away. And you don't want to be someone who like sounds like Kurt Cobain, and then, you know, sadly one day you will pass away, and you don't want anybody to say like he was just trying to sound like Kurt Cobain. Like, if you look at there's a video where I might put a clip in here about, I mean, if you look at Led Zeppelin with who the fuck was that? Oh God, this is my point. I'm gonna play you because I'm just coming off the cuffs here, but I saw a video of Robert Plant talking about this band. I can't even remember the name of the band. That's how much this example works here. Is that Robert Plant is talking about this band, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
There's a band in Detroit called Greta Van Fleet. They are Led Zeppelin 1. I hate him because he said he based his whole style on Aerosmith.
I think if Kurt Cobain was alive and he heard you sing and you're trying to sound just like him or trying to write songs just like him, this is what he'd be saying about you. So I don't think that's really what you want when you like say you want to be more like or sound more like Kurt Cobain or whatever it is. I think what you really probably want to do is make the impact that Kurt Cobain did. And the only way to do that is by being the one and only you. So this is a little pep talk to say, you do you, and the world will love you for that. And if they don't, then fuck them. So get out there, you be you, and say, fuck the world, and do what you gotta do to be you. Rock your best, focus with your best, keeps getting better. See you on the next one.